What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. Before I crack on with today's video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, you want to help to support my channel, then do subscribe. We're going to be doing daily Manchester City transfer update throughout all of the January transfer window coming up in just a few days. So if you want to stay up to date first and fast with the latest Manchester City transfer news this winter, then do make sure you have subscribed with your notifications on. 22k subscribers. That's the aim, less than 800 subs away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget social media links, they're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description below too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries I'm looking for. A sponsor for some of my daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout January, so a good sponsorship opportunity. I'm expecting them once more to be just as popular as always. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video. Smashed 300 likes on the last transfer update. Let's aim for that again. And also, most important, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say with regards to these transfers. Without further ado though, let's crack on with this video. We've got a couple of big stories. Let's start off first with the more minor of them stories, and it comes in the form of an update in the outs on James McAtee. Now, Paul Hirst at the Times has said that Manchester City will be considering loaning out James McAtee next month, but they will only be loaned out to a club that play a similar style to Manchester City. We are still waiting on James to sign that new contract at Manchester City. His contract is up in June of 2023. I will be surprised if City decide to loan out McAtee until that new contract is signed. If he signs a new contract though in January, it could be one of those where a new contract is signed, then he's loaned out for the rest of the season. Where that might be, you would think probably the Championship would probably be the most suitable place for him to go. And playing a similar style to Manchester City does kind of limit some of the options, but we'll see what happens with regard to that. Maybe he might end up abroad. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to the final story of the out. It's confirmed, it's signed, it's sealed, and it's done. Ferran Torres has signed for Barcelona from Manchester City. He signs for 55 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-ons. The first payment will come in the next 12 months. That could well come in the summer. It is not coming in January for the first payment for Manchester City. Now, what will be included on Manchester City's finances will be this fixed, guaranteed income of this transfer for Ferran Torres. It won't be the only deal ever done where there's no fee put up front and it's all paid for in instalments. City could have accepted a smaller fee and had that in one lump sum. City have obviously accepted a higher offer, but it comes in instalments instead. So Manchester City clearly happy to make some space in their squad. Clearly happy with the price that they've received for Ferran Torres, and give it 2, 3, 4 years and Manchester City will have received a sizable amount of money for Ferran Torres. He signs for Barcelona on a 5-year contract with a whopping 1 billion euros release clause to sign Ferran Torres from Barcelona. To be honest, I'd have chucked on a sell-on fee or a buyback clause or something if I was going to accept such a low amount. I personally feel 55 million euros, it's an alright deal. I personally feel it's a little bit low to represent his value. 3.5 years left on his contract. Young, promising, upcoming player. He's a player that's adaptable. He can play in various positions. He's also a homegrown player in Spain as well. I feel like we have given to Barcelona here when we didn't need to, and we've allowed ourselves not to be bullied by them, but we've just allowed ourselves to be rid of a situation here with Ferran Torres. And I personally feel like if we'd held firm here, I personally valued Ferran Torres 60 to 70 million pounds, just going off his age, his quality, and the length of contract that he's got left at Manchester City. But because Ferran Torres has said that he wants to leave City, he's unsettled in Manchester, he hasn't settled into life in England from his move from Spain, from Valencia. That's understandable. He won't be the first, he won't be the last player either for that to happen to. So that's very understandable. I did find some comments very interesting, in particular towards him feeling like he couldn't break into the first team squad. Yet at the beginning of the season, he'd broken into the first team squad. We didn't sign a striker, and that number 9 position for City was up for grabs for anybody that did want to take it. And before the injury, that position was for Ferran Torres, and he was excelling in that. And it's a shame that we don't get to see him continue his progress at least until the end of the season. I always say give a player 2 seasons, then I can judge on how good a player is for Manchester City. We haven't had 2 seasons out of Ferran Torres, so I can't give a proper judgment. I can give some, but not a proper, full, thorough judgment here on Ferran Torres. One thing I will say, though, I am going to wish Ferran Torres the very best of luck on his move to Barcelona. I do hope he goes and smashes it there. He is a fantastic, high-quality young player, and Barcelona are getting themselves a brilliant player in Ferran Torres. I'm hoping that he is over his injuries, and I'm hoping he can really hit the ground running there, and he can continue to prosper, because I like to see high-quality young players do well, regardless of whether they want to be at City or not. I'm passionate about football. I'm passionate about players excelling and doing well, and so I do wish him the very best of luck. It's a shame that that's not at Manchester City. What City's loss is definitely Barcelona's gain, and I definitely wish Ferran Torres all the very best of luck on his move back to Spain, back to Barcelona. To Manchester City, though, Paul Hirst has confirmed City will not replace Ferran Torres this winter. City will use youth to replace Ferran Torres from now until the end of the season. That means Cole Palmer will be getting more first-team opportunities. City have been impressed with how he's been training, how he's been performing, and his attitude. So there's going to be a big step up coming up for Cole Palmer, and a great opportunity for him to be able to integrate himself towards the Manchester City squad. Of course, a homegrown player, homegrown by the club as well. And it also helps us to go out there and sign a non-homegrown player when it comes to the summer. And that moves us really nicely onto the ins and a striker. That player could well be Erling Haaland. I'm fully aware of the pictures that have emerged of him catching a flight, where people have been saying he's flying to Manchester, and these pictures have been circulating. It's all over the City social media accounts and YouTube and things like that people have been speaking about. I'm not going to kill the hype train, so to speak, on that transfer and that story. What I will say, though, is I believe that it's just, coincidental. And the fact is, Erling Haaland will not be a Manchester City player in January. The fact is, his release clause is active in the summer. Dortmund aren't going to be stupid enough to accept an offer in January, and Manchester City have already said they aren't signing a striker in January, and there's no guarantee at all that with the interest in Haaland being shown that he is the player that Manchester City will end up signing. In fact, that's not really how City tend to do their transfers, really. If there is interest from other clubs and there's clubs willing to pay more money, and I'll tell you right now, with Real Madrid and United linked, I'll tell you right now, they will be willing to pay more than Manchester City in terms of wages. So actually, I have my doubts about this transfer, and casting doubts onto them moves me on to today's update with Marzio. Reliable says that Erling Haaland doesn't want to move to the Premier League. He's ummed and ahed about it. He's got a decision: La Liga or the Premier League, and apparently his decision is not to go to the Premier League. It feels like what's right for him right now is to go to La Liga. La Liga, of course, is a more passing style of football, a slower way of football, lots of high lines, and a big opportunity there for Erling Haaland to exploit that and score lots of goals. So I can see where his thinking is going towards that. And with Real Madrid being heavily linked with him, it's a prestigious club, a prestigious move for Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland's ambition will be to be the best player that he can be. And I reckon he can see that happening at Real Madrid. And Real Madrid, of course, looking for a bit of a rebuild job to try and get themselves back up on the top of the European pedestal. And the only way to go about that is being able to sign high quality, top quality young players. Players like Erling Haaland. It's going to cost them 75 million euros in a release clause. It's going to cost them an arm and a leg in agent fees and in representative fees as well as high wages as well. To me, as much as I'd like Haaland at Manchester City, do I think he will be a Manchester City player? Right now, my feeling towards this is no. I have a feeling that City will look towards option B, option C. We're being heavily linked right now that no one's really speaking about. Harry Kane. City are, it seems, still interested in Harry Kane. Stance from Spurs? They don't want to sell. Dusan Vlahovic, we're getting linked with him from Fiorentina. There's interest from elsewhere as well. The biggest concern we have with regards to that transfer is if he leaves in January, because City won't be signing a striker in January. That will come in the summer. So it leaves us other options like Darwin Núñez from Benfica. These are the types of players that Manchester City for the last 3 or 4 summers have been leaning towards. Players that don't have such high profile, that don't have such interest, that doesn't cost City as much, that City can just mould into their perfect player, because that has worked so well for us over the last few seasons. Ruben Diaz is a prime example of that, and I can see City doing the same with a striker as well. I'd love Erling Haaland at City. If we sign him, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be all aboard that hype train. Like I said though, right now I do have my doubts with regards to this. The only doubt I have about La Liga and Erling Haaland is Real Madrid are extremely interested in Kylian Mbappe, but that's not going to cost them any money in the summer. His contract is up. Kylian Mbappe has already said that there's only one club he's going to go to, and that's going to be Real Madrid. So I'm not even bothering speaking about him potentially joining Manchester City, because I'd love Mbappe here as well. That'd be fantastic. So Real Madrid, Mbappe and Haaland is a possibility to happen. If that does happen, that makes them a force to be reckoned with, particularly in attack, and having Karim Benzema as well. That's a frightening attack right there. Barcelona, they seem to have just found money out of nowhere via a bank loan. I wouldn't rule them out potentially making a move for Haaland to try and again get them onto the pedestal. But what Erling Haaland needs to decide is what's best for him. Who does he want to learn from? Where can he see himself excelling? If it's not going to be at Real Madrid and La Liga, and that can't happen, and he does want to come to the Premier League, to me the best option is Manchester City, because he gets to work with the best manager in the world, Pep Guardiola. That's our unique selling point. I do have a feeling with Raiola and his representatives, I feel like this is going to become a money issue, and if that does become a money issue, that's why Manchester City have been linked with other strikers. Read between the lines. That's what I do. So there we go, that's been the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, leave a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed this video. 300 likes. That's the aim. We hit it on the last video. Let's see if we can do that again for this video. That would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Daily Manchester City transfer updates coming throughout the January transfer window. I'm not expecting Manchester City to be too busy during the January transfer window. Doesn't mean we can't start putting things in the pipeline for the summer, and injuries or anything that happen. Anything can happen, okay, is what I'm saying. And so you just never know. So that's why I'll be covering daily Manchester City transfer updates to keep you guys in the loop with the latest Manchester City transfer news this winter. So make sure you do subscribe with the bell press to put your push notifications on. 22k subscribers, less than 800 subs away. I'd like to hit that by the end of January, and any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go check out my social media links. They're in the description below, and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. My email also in the description below too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And lastly, most importantly, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I am interested in what you think of these transfers. Ferran Torres, are you happy with the money that we've received from Barcelona? He's no longer a City player. What are your thoughts? Erling Haaland, he wants Spain, he wants La Liga, he wants Real Madrid over the Premier League and Manchester City, if rumours are to be believed via Marzio. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again very soon for the next Manchester City transfer update. I'll see you all again for the live watch along tonight of the game between Brentford and Manchester City, so I'll see you then. Feel free to go and ask any questions over there on my live stream, and I'll see you all again very soon. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.